Hi, I'm Dominica Lumazar.
And I'm Rory Carruthers.
We help entrepreneurs develop their big picture business strategy in order to break through growth plateaus.
We built several marketing agencies from the ground up and have helped our clients earn over $1 billion in revenue.
Now we want to share everything we've learned along the way.
This is the Big Picture Business Podcast.
Yes. Well, I'd like to introduce everyone to Mr. Doland White, who is the founder of Doland White Consulting. He was the CEO of Rapid Crush, which is Jason Fladlin's company, and he did some amazing things with that company, and we'll get into some of that. And for 30 years, he was in the software industry, building large service organizations, and and those organizations had like thousands of employees, and and we have a webinar business together. And also Dolan is an amazing musician.
Oh, all right.
Thank you.
What do you play? Is that a keyboard I see back there? What do I see?
Yeah, that's a keyboard tucked behind that chair over there. One of several. That's my drop keyboard. And then I play harmonica, sax, flute, clarinet, trumpet.
Wow.
I play everything but guitar.
You're in good company.
Which I can't, although I know I can watch people's hands and I know where they are. I know what the chords look like. And drums, because drummers really aren't musicians anyway, so that's okay.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So a musician. Well, that's awesome. I had no idea. That's great.
I have fun, have a blast. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, how did you decide to venture out on your own and start your own consulting company? How did that come about?
That's really a great question. So what was going on was I had been in the software industry. One of the guys that was one of my consultants for 20 some odd years ago. There's these people that you meet in your career that become friends and you just love them for who they are. And we had always stayed in touch. And he kept coming to me saying, "Hey, I want to, would like to, have you come work at our company and be the CTO." And I kept saying, "Well, who are you? What do you do?" And he said, "Well, we're a marketing company." And I said, "I don't work with marketers. I don't like marketers. I don't want to be around the marketers. I'm like a tech guy. I do mergers and acquisitions. I run all these people all over the planet. I don't need to be a marketer."
Right.
And so he asked me one day, he said, "Can you give me a number?" I gave him a number, and the son of a gun showed up at my house and pitched my wife. And I ended up going to work for a marketing company.
Wow.
And originally joined them to be CTO. I was there in that role for about 88 days. On the 88th day, I got a phone call, and they said, "Hey, can you meet us for dinner? We want to do a performance review." And I thought, friends or no friends, I'm out.
Right.
And,
Out of the pool.
So I asked him if I could bring a box, and he laughed. He goes, "Why? You work from home. What do you got to pack?" And went to dinner and sat down, and they said, "We're just tired of you complaining. Why don't you just run the company?" So
Wow.
I gave him the caveat. It's like, "That's awesome, dudes. I've run a lot of businesses, but I'm not a marketer." Good. And they go, "Yeah, you'll figure it out." And so I got my crash course working with Fladlin and Will Matos, those two guys at Rapid Crush, and so I became a marketing guy. And over the 4 years, for a little over 4 years in that role as CEO, we got to do lots of fun stuff. That's how Rory and I met, and Rory was kind enough to help us with Jason's book and just things that we did together. And about this time last year, we started talking about the direction of the company and where they were going and what they were doing, and kind of that process of, so what does it look like when you guys grow up? Typical questions business owners start to ask themselves.
Yeah.
And the direction that they wanted to go, they honestly just didn't need me. It was kind of like, "You guys are awesome at what you do. You know how to do this. I'm not adding any value to this. So rather than stay and keep cashing checks, let's just stay good friends and work together, and I'm going to go start my own business." So I left, which was an interesting, not what they wanted to hear. So,
well, yeah, I'm sure.
so-
But wow.
So here I am. So I left in November, which was the perfect time because it was about 45 days right before coronavirus. And so I get to like walk right into that whole event face first with starting a new business.
It
And
can only get better, right? I mean,
perfect. There's nothing better that tests your tenacity than like, I'm going to start a company and there's like a global pandemic. Awesome. And so really the reason was, I've spent so many years in different roles, and I've been blessed. I've been all over the planet, done lots of different stuff, and taught and done weird things. But there's all these skills that get stuck in your brain. And so I really felt that to have an opportunity to go work with companies and clients and people to help them accelerate the growth of their business and see things through a different lens without having to bring one methodology and one approach, and beat them with a hammer until they conformed and fit in that guy's box so they could do that guy's stuff.
right. Not all businesses are the same, right? So
No, it's kind of like, that's very true. There are rules, there are business rules, but not all businesses are the same. So you got to kind of treat everybody for who they really are. And I learned that a few times at Rapid Car Spray screwing stuff up. So
well, that's the best way to learn, right? Just mistake after mistake. So you must be like a company culture master then, is what it sounds like. Like the ins, like you probably walk into businesses and you can see so much right off the bat, I bet. I mean,
yeah. It's funny because you learn, because I've had to build all these teams over all the years, both inside of companies and external to companies. And you don't really think about what you're doing kind of as you're going through that process. You learn how, and you make mistakes, and you do trials and errors. And then when you become CEO of a company and you accept custody for the 30 some odd people that are in the company, for not only for them, for their wives and their kids and their families and all the stuff that comes along with it, you have to get really, really, really good at identifying culture. And I see people just make silly mistakes inside of businesses. They forget things that they should be doing to fix their culture.
Well, what are some examples of things that?
Well, it's interesting you say, because I think I see people when they and it doesn't. They're not talking from a consultant's perspective, but leaders forget that a business can only go at the speed of its culture. The velocity of any company equals the velocity of your team. And if your team is not prepared to go the speed at which you've got to go, no matter what you do, you can't, it's like pulling a boat anchor uphill. You can't pull people into success. So you really need to make sure that you put the right steps in process and the right kinds of activities so that your team is ready to go with you. The business components, the laws like gravity, right? When you let go of an apple, it's going to hit the ground. Thanks to Isaac Newton, right? He discovered that. So for that, we never knew that apples would hit the ground. So because of that law, the laws in business, they're the fundamental things you can always apply. But man, if you don't align it with all of the things that have to be in place, first and foremost is people, then you're not going to get there. And I see consultants go into businesses and they focus on the team and they get the team all amped up. They get everybody all ready to go. And they forget to go talk to the leadership of the company, the executives and the CEO, to make sure that everybody's ready to pull and push at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you just end up creating more problems than it's worth. We could go on and on and on about that.
Remember to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get notified when each new episode is released. To download the digital episode companions, watch unedited and behind-the-scenes content from this and all our other episodes, get access to exclusive trainings from us and our guests, get direct access to Dominica and myself, and to schedule your business critiques with us, head on over to bpppodcast.com/VIP. The link is also in the description. All right, we'll see you over there.